A prominent British professor of comparative religious studies visited the world head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, may Allah be his helper, at the London Mosque on Monday. Ron Geaves, presently serving as an honorary visiting professor at Cardiff University, gifted His Holiness with a copy of the new book, Islam and Britain, Islamic Mission in the Age of Empire.
I wanted to give you a copy. I have signed it inside for you.
Thank you very much.
And to thank you again for all of the assistance, because without your assistance and blessings this couldn't have happened, because of the opening the gates of research to the archives.
I hope this is a good addition in the history of Ahmadiyya and as well for the information of the general public as well.
Indeed. But I think it's important that we're able to acknowledge fully the contribution of the Ahmadiyya missionaries to the development of Islam in this country, and of course wider into Europe as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I wanted to present him with a copy of the book. Without his, you can say, blessings, the book could not have happened, because I needed access to the very significant historical documentation which has been kept by the Ahmadiyya of that early missionary activity. And I was particularly interested how in that time all Muslims, regardless of their sectarian differences, worked together to establish Islam here. So whether they were Sunni or Shia or Ahmadiyya, they were all working with each other under the Ahmadiyya missionary leadership. So that was the initial inspiration for the book.
The Ahmadiyya Archives and Research Centre first established dialogue with the professor several years ago, at which time he first met the Khalifa.
And when he was in the mulaqat with Huzur, he also mentioned that I'm surprised that it's such an important story that has been missed out all along. And I remember Huzur asking him that, does that mean a new chapter in one of your books? And he said, no, that means a new book. And that is where it all started.
Professor Geaves visited Ravva and Qadian as part of his research, and his newly published book highlights the early history of Islam in Britain.
I think many Muslims don't realize that in the period between 1910 to around, certainly to the beginning of the Second World War, the main inspiration and leadership for promoting Islam in this country came through the presence of the Ahmadiyya missionaries. They were the spiritual and organizational leadership. And from here, in this city, in London, their activities went out into Europe. So that's a very important part of Muslim history in this country, and to be aware that in that time, certainly, whatever may be happening now, in that time there were no sectarian divides between the Muslims that lived here. They were all working together with each other. So I just wanted to say that we've been able to really show that very clearly in the book from the historical evidence that exists.